Why should we change? Why should we change? Are we not good human beings? We are, but we don't know. Because we don't know, this question comes. According to the Indian scriptures, the masters of Jnana Yoga path, they say, when they find themselves, they say, I am the knowledge absolute, bliss absolute, existence absolute. I am none other than the absolute knowledge, absolute bliss, and absolute existence. And that's you. That's the crux of Indian teachings. I am that. If we are in that state of consciousness, nothing to change. But we may not be staying in that state of consciousness. This consciousness may come sometimes. You leave it for a while and then you skip it and you live a very different state of consciousness. When you stay in that different state of consciousness, there comes the question. I need to change. And whatever you change, the question repeatedly coming to you. Because until you are established, the need for change will be there continuously. When you are there, no need to change. When you are elsewhere, you get into the feeling that you need to change because it's not giving calmness, it is not giving the feeling that you are one and complete, you are perfect. In the Indian schools, they have a mantra. That's perfect, this is perfect. The perfection is perfect, and what you see as imperfect is also perfect. If you deduct the perfect from perfection, what remains will also be perfect. So, what to change? Always it's only perfection. But the mind creates sensations. It continuously creates sensations that you are not perfect. I have to change. I have to drop off certain things. I have to really add certain things. I have to subtract certain things. I must feel comfortable. I am not comfortable anymore. And so there comes the question of change. Life is a program which is actually built up on changes. And we feel change is very difficult. That means that we are not on the process of living. We are elsewhere. When we are living, we are not in that process of living. This is a paradox. This is a big paradox where human beings are. Life is a dynamic process. The dynamism of life is fixed on changes. It continuously changes. No moment of your life is the same as another moment in your life. So you are continuously changing. But we feel it's so difficult to change. Why we hold on certain things? Mentally we are held. And we don't want to lose it. So mentally we feel that I cannot change it, I cannot lose it. Death is a final change. Whether you want it or not, it will come. If you are not ready to change, and when the final change comes, you will not be ready to pass over. That's the struggle of leaving the body. One who knows, one who realizes, he knows that this is the part of the process of living. And life and death, they go hand in hand. And from one, you migrate to the other. And from the other, you again get back into life. So what is the point in holding this? given the life. A worn-out body needs to be gone from here to get back into a better body, a refined body, maybe a more fresh body. So this is the story of life. We feel difficult to change. We feel very, very upset when we hear somebody is dead or you yourself is sick that you have to die. So this is the difficulty. Death is a final change, and if we find it difficult to change, we will feel so upset when the last days are coming closer to us. So it is important actually to really examine this area and make yourself flexible for all kinds of changes, because life proceeds on changes. Life is a dynamic process. You have to be in this wheel of dynamism. If you are stubborn and stuck somewhere, this is difficult. The life process is difficult. And what makes it really difficult, we will explore there. When we were small, we got the social conditioning and we became our person as we are. This person, when he behaves and when he does something, some good results will come. Some bad results will also follow. If some good things are coming, you get attached with this action, particular action, because it has offered you something great. So you want the same thing to happen again and again and again, because it gives you something beautiful. Unknowingly, there will develop a habit in us to repeat this kind of action. Any action that is practiced for a little longer time will breed habits. Why habits are formed? Because it is easy for you. When you repeat the same thing for a few times, habits will be set. Then you don't need to think about it at all. You just simply have to do. So it is sidetracking the thinking process. You don't need to discriminate whether it will be good or bad. So your intelligence will be sidetracked. Your intellect will be sidetracked. And then you just simply repeat it and the pleasure comes. But the same experience is not going to repeat again. So it may also breed some other things. So we become a little cautious to get the best out of it, and we create our habits, refine our habits, and then new and new habits will be set. When these habits are set, it goes deeper into ourselves, because our conscious mind don't need to intervene in this. Unconsciously you do the same thing. That means you have gone from the peripheral surface level of the mind to a deeper level. Now the subconscious is doing for you. You are not conscious anymore. Your subconscious is operating. It takes over the story. It becomes easy. But at the same time, these things have gone deep into yourself. This is the important thing which we need to look into. It is not staying in the peripheral levels of mind. It has gone deeper into your mind. When anything that goes deeper into your mind, it's difficult to take it out. If it is good, it is fine. Certain things are not really good for you. You don't feel good about it after some time. And then it becomes so difficult because it's already very deep, you don't know where it is. Millions of informations are there in the mind. It hides somewhere. You get lost there. And then if the habits are repeated for a certain number of times, maybe a long time, it sets certain patterns of behavior. Certain patterns will be set. That means it has gone deeper than the habit levels. You cannot behave otherwise. The set patterns, you behave on set patterns. There comes your personality. Everybody knows, he's like that, he's like that, he behaves like that. It's very explicit to the world because they understand you in that way, because you identified yourself with that pattern and you express yourself accordingly. When these patterns are continuously practiced for a longer period of time, your essential culture of the person is formed, which we say in the Indian Sanskrit language, samskar. This is your sanskar, your culture. You cannot be otherwise than, or you cannot be different than your sanskar. You behave accordingly. When once samskars are formed, all your innate tendencies are coming from that. We have a lot of samskars like this. Lot of things. Root samskars are there. Fundamental samskars are there. You may get angry of certain things when somebody rejects you, or when somebody is behaving in a different way, you get angry about that person. Or you may get angry about yourself when you cannot do the way you wanted to behave. These are all coming from the same root. So this quality will be projected in whatever you do. And it becomes easy. But when you behave in this way, there is a problem. If these are breeding difficult issues into your life, or difficult situations into your life, and really troubles for you, how can you change it? If it is giving good, you don't need to change. Sometimes these patterns may really create troubles. When these troubles are really shown in you, you know that I need to change it. Now it is too late, because it's already in the depth of the being. So there comes a big work to identify the root sanskars. This is important now. Otherwise your suffering will continue. Exploration into one's own deeper personality is something very important at this point, because your personality is creating troubles for your existence. But it is difficult to change. There comes the question of changing. How to change? How can I get out of this? It becomes so much of a need. Unless it becomes so much of a need, you will not feel to change. Because why to change? It anyway works easily. You don't need to think anything. So it is when a person coming to that point, it becomes necessity for him. Because troubles after troubles shoot up all the time. From our personality, from our behavior. When it comes into that position, a person starts to think about changing. Otherwise, there is only suffering. So now he decides that I have to change. And what to change, he don't know. Some troubled situations are there, but these troubled situations needs to be changed. You work with the outside to change the situation. When you work with the outside to change the situation, you are not changing, you are trying something else. Then it is important for us to certainly go back into ourselves and really work deeply into ourselves to understand the root sanskars, from where the roots are coming up. When once you identify the roots, you have to decide, I have to change it. Simply by changing, deciding to change, you will not change. So there you have to certainly put a step further to change. Take a step further to change. And that's something important. You take the decision that you must feel the need, take the decision, and then slowly put a step for changing. And when you put the step, you are creating a positive samskar. It will do good for you. You slowly start to change your samskar one by one. And then there will be a day that you will be out of the samskars, out of his patterns. That means you are free. You get back into your real person, the being, the pure being, the absolute one. As the masters were talking, you are the absolute, you are the absolute knowledge, you are the absolute bliss, you are the absolute existence. And that awareness comes there when you change the samskar completely. It's a big work one has to do.